Danny, again, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
So I live in the world of physical therapy, personal training, concierge service, and being a dad. I think those are the four jobs that I try to balance and shift and put on different burners at different times. Right now, my physical therapy practice is top shelf physical therapy, but we focus on concierge home visits, which is pretty much like 33% of my business. Personal training, I work with a lot of teenagers, just middle age, just really active people that are self motivated. And then 33% is probably post op cases or some professional athletes and stuff like that too that are in the off season for football. And yeah, that's a little bit of my main jobs and stuff.
Awesome. So, Danny, I've known for quite some time, and he's one of our hidden revenue members, and he's going to share a bit of his experience with working with me personally and the program. Danny, what were some of the things that you felt like you were struggling with before we went through our program together?
Yeah, it was one of those things that I wasn't struggling. I was actually thriving and doing better than I thought I would do. That I set a goal of making about $10,000 a month in my first year of practice. And I doubled that number in the first month, maybe the second month. So was like, all right, this is awesome. But I'm like, okay, I'm stuck now and just like happy. It was the first time I felt like I wasn't really motivated to keep going. And I wanted to figure out what other path to do. So I started looking into starting a new company. I've just always been someone that wants to keep growing and doing more. So I've always just been someone that has multitasking abilities and has to keep going. So when I reached that amount, I felt like weird that I was just like giving up on my business a little bit. And I was spending a good amount of time with my kids and everything like that. But it just didn't feel like I was either present with them either because I always felt like I had to do something else. And then I've known Javi for years. So he was doing a lot of things like me. And then I had seen that he had done a whole 360 and left the PT world and coaching PTs and focused on kind of this mindset stuff. And I just knew him as a person and how authentic and genuine and who he was. And I've always admired his kind of entrepreneurship and business focus, where I've always been a little bit more on the artistic physical therapist kind of side. So I'm like, all right, let me spend some time with him. Let's see why he made the change, why he made this switch over and everything like that. So that combination of everything led me over to working with you and trying to see if like I needed to find anything else or if I should just stay on the same path and what I should do.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for sharing that as well. I think that was a big thing, right? There were so many moving parts in terms of what should be my focus right now. And I know we were just briefly talking about it a bit. It's okay, this is when you're focused and you put your intention into something, it's going to naturally grow and also allow you to have the success in the other areas of your life. What do you feel? Because there's a lot of, I know we knew each other personally, and yet there's a lot of other programs that do work on mindset and work on talking about your past and changing how you think and how you feel. What do you feel after, especially after going through our process? Like, what made it stand out to you that's different from a lot of what you see out there?
Yeah, I think for me, the physical therapy part and knowing that you understood my industry definitely helped me a lot because I knew you had ran a clinic before and had gone through some of those struggles and everything like that. But it wasn't so much just the technical stuff. I think it could help anyone in any field, but I think that definitely helped me just feel more comfortable with some of the kind of ideas. But it was really just the mindset of going through all the exercises, the kind of observation instead of like being in the moment, just being able to step away from the moment and observe it and feel the emotions and everything like that, and going through all the kind of past history type stuff and figuring out like limiting beliefs of why I was just satisfied at that level. And a lot of it was really realizing that I was pushing away from certain things in the past, growing up with an immigrant family and everything, and just being pretty broke or not in the upper class type stuff. It was just always like, all right, I don't want that life for me. And my grandmother like yelling at me when I tried to help her clean an office building. And she's like, no, you study, you become the doctor of physical therapy, you go on to be successful. So it was always like, I was always pushed in that kind of direction. And then with the mindset stuff, it was really just realizing that like I was on the right path. I didn't have to switch and I was in a passion area and I enjoy what I'm doing. And it can all work together. But with the mindset stuff, it was really just changing that kind of negative emotion to positive emotion and trying to create something instead of trying to get away from something.
Yeah, that push pull. Tony Robbins actually just got interviewed by Alex Ramosi,
Hmm.
and Alex Ramosi has been really known to be fueled by anger and pain and push. And it was really nice to see him get coached by Tony to basically help him realize that he needs something to be pulled towards instead, because that motivation is longer lasting. So it reminded me of the conversation that we're having here. Um,
100%. That's why I got the beard and
yeah,
the long hair.
there you go. There you go. I love it. One thing I want to touch on, because for people watching this, the first thing that we do is a breaking session, which is can be 8 to 10 hours. Was there, did you have any concerns about that process and the length of it? What were some things that were going through your head initially when you heard about the process? And what would you say to someone that's, oh, that sounds like a lot of time to work on my mindset?
Yeah, after doing Date with Destiny and some other courses like that, that were 5 days of 18 hours, I thought it was easy. I think you have to just dive in and spend all that time to just really peel back layers and think about it and focus on a problem long enough and just, yeah, just really dig into it a little bit more. And I thought, again, just comparing that to like, I've done business mastery with Tony Robbins, level 1 and 2, Date with Destiny, Unleash the Power Within. I'm familiar with all this stuff. And I thought that was a big part to this, that I'm like, all right, I've done some NLP type stuff. I've read countless books of Think and Grow Rich and all those self-help type books and everything like that. But just having someone that's also done all that work to talk with it and personalize it and have that direct coaching, I thought that was the difference in the kind of secret sauce of doing a program like this versus just doing another Tony Robbins course and getting all the general information. And then just the consistency of, yeah, the 12 hours is one thing. Then a week later, we were checking in, and then we just had our kind of 3 month. And it was one of those things that, like, the night before was going back into some patterns. Like, we had talked about some things that had happened in life. And then we talked. And the next day, I was like, wow, everything changed again. And then just the next day, like, instead of having frustration and fear and anxiety and some of the negative emotions, it was a nice little reset. So it was nice to, the timing was, I don't know, just always works out for some reason, but it was just nice to have that reset and, yeah, touch base a little bit. So that's why we're going to keep staying in touch and checking in, but it's also good to just have that accountability aspect. And that's the thing, is that just for any athlete, every athlete gets a coach for some type of thing. And I think that's where, for me, like, you've been my business coach and entrepreneur mentor and example in a way, with that kind of physical therapy kind of background. And I think that really just helps to have that kind of understanding of the field while also having that entrepreneur side, that I'm definitely an entrepreneur, but at the same time lean more to the clinic kind of focus and aspect.
Yes, yes, I love that, man. What do you feel there's so much to unpack there, and I know that there were, yes, there was the business that we were touching on and working through, and there were some other things as well. What do you feel has changed the most for you personally so far?
I think just letting go of wanting to do more just to do more. I think that was a big one, that we were talking about doing this new company, and it was going to be a bigger company, nationwide, kind of possible franchise. And we started the stuff on it. And I just noticed, I'm like, I'm doing this just because I know this can work and this could make me a lot of money, but it just takes away from so many other aspects of life and everything like that, that I didn't feel like I needed to. So it's one of those, it's on the back burner. It still might be there in 2 years when I retire. It might be something we get back to, but for now, it's just focusing on the rocks and putting the rocks in the bucket first before the sand, and just taking care of the company I have and my small team, and just family time and everything like that is really the stuff to really work on.
Yeah, yeah, so good. And I would like to get touch on the family side, because that's something that you worked on significantly and made some really cool changes there. Before we do that, would you mind sharing about, because I know you had said initially your goal was to get to the 10K per month mark, and then you did that within a couple of months. You doubled that, about 20K a month. And then would you mind sharing, so from the moment that we started working together, what was the trajectory of revenue in the business?
Yeah, it was interesting. And I think part of it was, I don't know, manifestation type of energy. Again, that magnetic pull, that just connections just were happening, that I'd go to the gym and I would just meet someone and we would just start chatting. They're like, oh, my friend needs physical therapy. And then I'd get another patient and a friend of a friend, and just things just kept happening and the ball just kept rolling, but it just felt like my energy had changed to help out with that. But I think when we did our 3-month one, I was already at 40K. So it was just every month it was just going up, and I got to a mark. And right now, just with my time availability and the size of the team I want to have, I think we could get to 60K a month with everyone kind of being at really full. And realistically, in physical therapy, it's not completely possible, but I'm pretty sure this month we'll get to 50K. And that's with one part-time PTA and one part-time physical therapist that's slowly transitioning to be here a little bit more. She's doing 8 hours a week, and the goal is to ramp her up to 16. But even with that, getting to about 50K for physical therapy, and our overhead with a virtual assistant, rent, and all monthly fees is probably less than $5,000. So it's a very good cash flow situation.
I love everything that you just said. And what's really neat from my perspective, I remember when we initially talked, you were like, I don't want to hire anyone. I don't want to have to deal with hiring employees and bringing on people to the team and growing. I just wanted to essentially be me. And then just over a few months, you brought people on, you've
Yeah,
started to grow, and the vision has expanded.
yeah, exactly. It was one of those things that like I just never liked. I never wanted to be like a middle manager and just had that as a job to make 10% more and to manage people and do all this stuff. So I think it's going to
Um,
be one of those things like we just have to keep it going. And I think it's once I get a couple of them going, it's going to be too hard to like not want have 20 applications of people like, hey, how do I join this system and do
Totally.
something like
Ease.
this?
I've got two quick questions for you. And
Yeah.
just, I just want to be clear. So basically, before we started to do our work together, you were at about the 25K per month mark. And then I believe you said within 90 days or less, you were at the 40K per month mark. And now this month, you're likely going to hit 50K. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think it's the 22nd now, and I think we're almost at 40. So pretty on track to get 50K this month.
I love that. I think that kind of leads into my next question, because what I love about you, man, is that you obviously there's the achievement and the success and the financial wealth that you're creating, and you've always been very big on fulfillment and being really passionate and happy about what you do and the people that you work with. And people feel that. I feel that. And I think it's a really amazing quality that you have. On that note, tell me a little bit more about how some of the other areas of your life have been positively impacted by the work that we've done together in this program. Because I know we also worked on some family related things as well.
Yeah, definitely. It was really noticing that fear and anxiety was just driving me more than I thought it was and pushing me more than I thought it was. And it was one of those things that it made me be short tempered with my son in the morning and like trying to rush him because I was like fearful of being late and then anxious to not be late. And then I was being short with him and trying to get him going, and he didn't respond to it. So it was interesting that we really went into this with the business mindset and personal growth, but it just transpired into everything. And that's an area that even me and my wife were working on this stuff a little bit more ourselves and looking to do some more work together to work on the relationship and ourselves a little bit more to make sure that we could both be speaking the same language with this and have the same kind of progress and work on the different aspects of life. That it was one of those things that like we focused on one, but it transcended into other areas. And it's definitely one of those that it's still hard when I tell him, hey, go brush your teeth. And I look back and he's just laying on the couch. I'm just like, all right, this is a test. Take that second. I'm definitely not perfect with it. There's plenty of times where I don't have that ultimate patience that I would like to have, but I've noticed definitely a big shift that it has been much, much better.
Yeah. And you rearrange your schedule for date nights and spending more time with the kiddos. So I think that I just want to mention that because there's always more that we can do. And being that we focused on business and career and personal growth, and you still saw some shifts with that, with just barely touching it, I think is a huge benefit. And I want to make this very clear for everyone. Yes, we want you to make more money. Yes, you want to be able to create financial wealth and abundance for you and your family. And when everything is in alignment and everything gets better, that's where we all want to be. And we can have it all. But Danny, just to wrap things up, this has been amazing. If someone was considering working together, joining this program, what would you say to them?
Yeah, I think it just Are you ready to make a change? Are you in the right place that you're actually willing to do some work and try to keep getting better and want to look into yourself more to make the outside better? I think that
Mm,
was the big thing for me, is just like you have to be the right person that is willing to want to look at yourself. And if you don't want to see what's going on and try to figure yourself out, I think it will be a little bit harder and everything like that. And I think that's the hard part for many people.
yeah.
For me, it was again, just timing of everything has just worked out so well that you had made the change and I was interested in it. But people are really willing to make that change and are looking to figure it out and try to figure out which path to go down a little bit more. I think that's the main thing I got, that it just like validation, like you're on the right path. You don't have to jump and try to grow more. And even with the kids stuff, like when I was making 20,000, yeah, I had more time with the kids, but I wasn't with them more. There was more
Mm,
time for them, but now it's like at 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, my kids come to the gym and they do a football practice. And like I'm coaching the class and the parents are helping out, and I could just really be present for that full hour. And on Fridays, I hang out with my 2-year-old, and every day I take my kids to school and we went for donuts and breakfast sandwiches. And like the time together is fully present because I know it's planned out, and we were able to work on a really good schedule that helps me get all of the rocks in and blocked off. And like you said, like date night, like 3 hours of date night on Saturdays. That's when the kids get a little screen time. We have a babysitter. She makes them do some Spanish tutoring type stuff and a couple like productive things, but then they get to relax. We get to go out. We actually work for an hour usually to plan our week. And then I'll even do some physical therapy stuff on my wife. And then we'll go out to dinner, pick up some treats on the way home, and then hang out with the kids a little bit more. So we still make it productive, but also takes that one-on-one time with each other. And even at this year, on the first, we went on a date night. My parents were here, they watched the kids, and we took 36 hours, I think it was, and we planned out the whole year and planned out all the trips we wanted to take and birthday plans and everything like that to make sure that we got it all on the calendar so we wouldn't just go through life without a plan.
so good. So good, man. Yeah, I echo that. I think it's about dropping the ego, being able to really, number one, understand that your inner game, your inner world is what creates and affects your external reality. And so being able to let everything go and receive that, I think is so key. And what's really interesting is you let go of this idea of, I don't have to grow more. And the attachment to that sometimes is the very thing that holds us back. So you let go of that. And funny enough, guess what? You still grew more. So I
100%.
think,
It was weird. Like I was
yeah,
trying less. Like before I was like going and trying to meet doctors and I don't know, just doing more follow-up type things, doing what I love, getting to work with high-level people, problem solving, and being able to help. So it's great to be able to be of service to people and be rewarded for it financially and be able to support my family and let them do their dance classes and football classes and have a cleaning person so my wife could manage and not have to do the labor. It's great to be in this next little phase.
yeah, man, I'm just like, I just want to acknowledge you and I'm proud of you for doing the deep inner work. It's just so great to see everything in your life expanding. Yes, we worked on business and everything else has expanded from there. And I just really appreciate you really investing time to doing this work for yourself. So once again, this is Daniel Ramirez from Top Shelf Physical Therapy in sunny San Jose, Los Gatos.
Los Gatos, yeah.
Los
That's it.
Gatos, right
Yeah,
outside San Jose. So,
yeah.
Danny, man, thank you so much for your time. And I look forward to helping you progress even further, man.
My pleasure, man. Yeah, like you said, if you have an ego and aren't willing to let go of it, this isn't for you. But if you are willing, like I think that's the right person. If you're willing to give up that ego and try to figure out how to live your best life.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you got an ego and you're not willing to let go of it, keep it, man. Keep it, people. I'm not your guy, but if you're ready to expand your life in ways you couldn't even imagine and do it with a lot less effort, like Daniel was saying, then this is the program for you. So again, man, thank you so much. Really
All right.
appreciate you.
All right. My pleasure, buddy.